You know, there was a time in my life when it would have taken extraordinary guts to even have the thought or the idea that I want to be a billionaire. And to put it out there on YouTube, there's all sorts of people who are going to judge that and be like, oh my gosh, some people are going to be inspired and they'll say that's brilliant. Some people are going to like hate to the extreme. But in this video today, what I want to share with you is what my goals are. Because years ago, I achieved very basic, rudimentary level of financial freedom. I got to quit my job and then my wealth kept on growing. And it's been a really wild journey. But when you get to the level that I'm at, where you've done thousands of deals and hundreds of millions in real estate, you know, the question is there really somewhere to go from here? Is it just toes up on the beach? Or really what happens? How does a person's purpose morph when they get to this place? So for today's video, what I want to do is I want to share with you a couple of things that I think are going to be important for you. I want to talk to you about 4 different basic levels of financial freedom, 4 different financial levels of being. And then I want to kind of go more into, you know, what some of my goals are, what I'm doing in my life today. And I hope that this will end up being inspiring and educational, because in the beginning, every one of us starts off into a kind of a financial place where it's defined by struggle. And struggle basically just means there's just not enough money, right? I mean, I need this amount of money and I am making this amount of money. Or maybe you're neck and neck and you're check to check. The reality is that whether you're making a little beyond what you need or if it's less than you need, dude, that can be financially stressful, especially if you have goals and dreams, and you gotta find a way to get there or else they're gonna die. And then you become a really nasty, crotchety human being. So you can't stay in this level forever. You need a plan to elevate yourself out of it. From there, you get to yourself to a level of freedom. And the freedom is worth more than all the cars, all the houses, all the wealth. Like, the money is really great, but really for me, money is first defined in terms of lifestyle. And when you buy your time back so you don't need to work at a job for 40, 50 hours a week, that freedom is just like, oh, I come off of financial life support. I can live again. Like, it's amazing to be that human being. Now, when you are financially free and you don't have to have a job, you enter a new level of consciousness and awareness, and your goals change on you. Your purpose might not change, but it's going to accentuate, it's going to magnify, it's going to alter. From freedom, you start thinking in terms of impact. How do I really make a difference? Like, I'm good. Like, I was once selfish. I call struggling selfish. Not meaning you're a bad person, but what I mean is your whole perception is all about what's in it for me, and it's always about you because you don't have enough. When you elevate to a place of freedom and focus on impact, that's where you start going inward to outward and saying, wow, this has been so good for me. How can I help other people? Or what do I want the meaning of my life to be? Some people, when they stop working, dude, you know what happens when people retire. Within 5 years, they die. So you have to have a purpose greater than just trying to get out of a job you don't like. In fact, some of you might have a job that you do like, or there is something you do want to do. It's not about not working. It's about doing the work that you love. You can't retire from passion. So impact is, how do I help more people? Now, this person can't understand this. It sounds altruistic. It sounds goody two-shoe. Maybe it's Christian or there's a religious connotation. Maybe they can respect it. But frankly, a lot of people, when you're in this level, you can't think more than 2 levels ahead. When you are doing massive amounts of impact, this is what you're trying to do in life. And then there's an impact that you have after death. And that's what I call financial immortality. In the afterlife, you're dead. This video is not about what happens after you walk into the light. But back here on earth, what happens after you die? You see, if a tree falls in the woods and no one's there to hear it, doesn't make a sound. Dude, right now, someone just died. I'm still alive, you're still alive, we're still here, but their life can still mean something. Financial immortality says, I'm not just trying to make the biggest impact while I'm here, I want to make a huge impact when I'm gone. Like, you think about Warren Buffett, right? The biggest philanthropist probably of all time, has given away tens of billions of dollars. And he's still alive. That is his in-life impact. But when he dies, his life will still have meaning, like Mother Teresa, having her massive organization, continuing to do her work of good. So as I'm about to share with you, like, what are my goals today? I just wanted to give you some framework that, depending on where you're at, if you're at this level, you're really going to respect what I have to say. If you're at this level, it's going to make sense. If you're here, I hope that it inspires you. I hope that you understand there's a greater purpose in doing this. So there's a lot of you that actually are subscribers and you watch my channel. And so today I just want to get a little vulnerable and just kind of share like what are actually some of my personal goals. And I got them written down, so if it's okay, I'm just gonna use my laptop here. Right now, my goal for the next 12 months in my financial and real estate game is right now I'm buying about 250 homes a year. And that's really important because that's feeding a bigger impact. My wife has all these charities and she has huge plans to grow those charities and to do something way bigger, right? And so I continue buying real estate and those homes will turn into millions, between $5 to $8 million 5 years from now. And next year, I'm gonna grow that by 20%. So I'm gonna do over 300 homes and then over 400 homes and over 500. So I wanna own thousands and thousands and thousands of homes. I wanna own thousands of multifamily properties because I'm a young man. I'm in my 30s still, right? So my wealth is gonna continue growing and it's gonna keep on growing till I have a plan for my next $100 million and I also have a plan for becoming a billionaire, right? I'm not there right now. I'm small potatoes probably in relation to that, but I have a very realistic plan of how I'm getting there. And it's not about a nicer lifestyle. Right now, as I'm making more money, my lifestyle doesn't change. Right now, I live in my dream home. I get to do all the world travel I want, get to drive whatever I want. So lifestyle, how it works on my 4 kids and where they go to school and that all of that is really kind of set in place. But that is another one of my goals is right now, my children, they only go to school 4 days a week and they're in a special charter school. So we have 3-day weekends. And then I love traveling around the world with them. They've already been international multiple times. And my wife and I, we dreamed when we were young that we would not just ourselves get a travel around the world, see 100 countries. We want our children to we want them to be children of the globe. We want them to have a global education. We don't want them to read about China. We want them to experience China. We want them to experience the world and actually see it firsthand. So we've been doing that, but we want to, my oldest is now, she's turning 13 next month and going to keep on doing that. But beyond that, when I look at my impact, my living legacy, and then my financial immortality, right now the goal is to become a billionaire. One, because there's a lot of charitable foundational work that my wife that I really support in her world. But the other big part for me is I want to fill stadiums. If you have not been out to one of my 3-day events, you could click the link and find out more about them. My events, they're not events, they're experiences and they're life-changing. Like God's put a gift in me that I know how to work magic. When people are blocked, when people are stuck by their past, I know how to help them get past it. And ironically, when I mentor people on how to make all this money in real estate, the reality is that half of the work is the real estate between the ears. It's the mindset, it's their limiting beliefs, it's the way that they're thinking wrong. And they need to think different if they're going to become something different. So I put on these events, I've had thousands of people experience them, but I want to fill stadiums. I don't really care about personal recognition. I just want to impact as many people as I possibly can. I love leverage. I love helping as many people as possible. So listen, if you take all that into account, that's just kind of a snapshot of where I'm at and what my goals are. And I'll tell you that making that $100 million, making that $1 billion, that's totally achievable. And even though some of you are watching this, and once upon a time I would have watched a video like this and said, dude, that guy's up in the night crazy. That is so freaking far out there. But I want to tell you right now, we overestimate what we can do in a year. And we underestimate what we can do in a decade. So I just want to share this with you. Learn to think in decades. Do you have a plan for your whole life? Right now, for some of you, $1 million might seem like a crazy amount of money. It's not. It's not a lot of money. Click the link in the description below and let me gift you my $1 million game plan and actually show you exactly the step-by-step of what you do to make $1 million. Because, dude, $1 million is still part of this struggling. It's still part of this right here. You see this? This is still part of struggling. When you are out there just trying to take care of you, that $1 million is all going to go towards you. Sure, I'm not saying that you're not going to give to charity or do something good, but dude, $1 million is still struggling because I do that at 10%, that's like $8,000. You put it in society's hands, you put it in your financial planner's hands, and they're giving you 3-4% on that. That's like $3,000 a month. Dude, you're not rich. You had $1 million and making $3,000 a month. Are you kidding me? That's struggle land. So you need to develop goals and thinking that can elevate you above, and then you need the power of proximity. You got to get proximity to me. Some of you do that by being a subscriber here. Some of you are going to go and go to my website and go to one of my next events because you know that if you spend 3 days with me, it's going to be freaking rocket ship to the moon. My goal, my purpose is to help as many people get here. And that starts with here. So if you're struggling, but you feel like God's called you to something more, if you feel like there's a greater purpose in you feel like it's being wasted on a job that you don't feel passion for, doing someone else's work, then I want to invite you. First, be a loyal subscriber and ring that bell to get videos where every day I can give you proximity to the thoughts and ideas. I'm not just passing on the wealth of knowledge that I've received, but I'm really passing on the millions that I've spent on my mentors that have been teaching me that I'm also passing on. You need to collect people like me in your life and others that you can surround yourself with where you get that deeper impact. And then the next level is you got to act on that, which means come to an event where I will show you during 3 days of an experience how to rise out of struggle and to start thinking this way and start thinking this way and then thinking this way. Because when you change your thinking here, your inside world eventually then becomes your outside world. So really, you need to have an outward plan, but you need to have an inward way of thinking. Friends, that's where I'm at. Those are my goals. That's what's really important to me right now. And yes, I will be a billionaire. I will have a far greater impact with my financial immortality, but so can you. If you want a plan that can get you going and you just want to start with something basic like making your first million, click the link in the description below and let me walk you through it.